All right, so good morning, everyone. This is Brian again, your host for Inspiring Educators. So, now for my latest episode, I am blessed to have another educator from another part of the globe. To be specific, she's a teacher, an American teacher, but currently she's staying in Australia. So without further ado, let's all welcome Dr. Gena Rhoades. Doctor, good day.
Hi, how are you, Brian?
I'm doing great. How about you, Doctor?
I'm great.
That's fantastic. Nice to hear that. So, Doctor, let's jump in to this podcast for inspiring educators. My first question, Doctor. Me and our listeners would like to know, who is Dr. Gena Rhoades?
Okay, well, let's see. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and that's where I grew up, and I did my undergraduate at Butler University in elementary education. So I always thought I was going to become an elementary education teacher. But then my world changed drastically when I decided, after I finished my undergraduate at Butler, I decided, I'm just going to go to Japan for 1 year and teach English. And I stayed in Japan for 2 years. And I loved teaching English. And so that's when I decided that instead of becoming an elementary education teacher, that I wanted to become an English teacher. And I also learned that while I was in Japan, that I loved learning languages. And I decided that I wanted to study French in France, because I had studied it in school, but I hadn't studied it in the country. So I decided to move to France for 2 years and study French. And then after 2 years in France, my French was pretty good, but I decided, okay, now it's time to be serious with my career. And I went to the University of Southern California. And that's where I got my master's in teaching English as a second language and my doctorate in educational leadership. And I taught in Los Angeles for quite a while before I decided to take a position as an English language fellow in Morocco. And I loved being in Morocco. I was there for 2 years. And I got to use my French every day, which was exciting. And then that's led me to several other projects in Laos and 3 years in China before I decided to come here to Australia.
That's a marvelous adventure, Doctor, and a nice transition, because you started as, elementary, and then suddenly you ended up teaching different levels. That was really great. Plus, you also learned different language, to be specific, the French language. Now, up to my second question, Dr. Rhoades. So, out of all professions that we have, how did you end up as an educator? Why did you choose to become a teacher?
I've always wanted to be a teacher. Ever since I was a little girl, my favorite game to play was school. And as long as I was the teacher, then I would love to play school. I never liked to be the student. But so even when I was very young, my grandmother had a daycare center, and I was always at her daycare center. And my favorite game for us to play was school, and I would always make up games for the other kids to play. And so my family was just like, she's just a teacher. That's what she was born to be. And so it wasn't difficult for me to decide to study to become a teacher when I went to Butler University. So it was just a part of the plan. As many of your inspiring educators have said, it finds you.
That's great, doctor. So, since childhood, or since, like you mentioned, since you're a little girl, it's already in your heart that you wanted to, teach, share what you know to others, and up until now, you are pursuing in doing that in your, in your podcast, in your website as well. That's a really great passion, if you would allow me to say that, because not everyone has this, skill to teach someone, to lead them into the right path. Because, I consider teacher, doctor, as a noble job. We're the ones who are leading the young minds to the right path. Am I right, doctor?
I hope so. Yes, I think I am very passionate about teaching, and I always want to make sure that I'm doing the best I can and helping everyone that I teach learn as much as possible. And it's definitely my passion.
Great to hear that, doctor. Now, off to my third question. All right. So, everyone has experienced this pandemic situation because of the COVID-19. Not just here in the Philippines, not just there in Australia, not just in America, but everybody have felt the difficulty of this situation. Now, doctor, I wanted to know, how do you make yourself, or how do you stay positive despite of all these challenges? I know that it's very difficult to be positive every day, but what makes you be positive, doctor?
I think I think it's very important that we stay grateful for the things that we have, and I'm very grateful that my family is safe. Especially my mother is in Florida, where there's a lot of the virus, and so I worry about her, but I know that she's in a very safe place, and I call her often to make sure she's safe. So I know that she's safe, and the rest of my family are safe. And Rob and I are here. Rob, my Australian partner, he and his daughter, all of us are safe, and I think that that's the most important thing. And then I have my friends. I Zoom with my friends often to see how they're doing. I think knowing that your friends are out there, even if you can't be with them, is I think it keeps me positive. I can see them on Zoom and know that they're all doing okay.
That's really wonderful. Very simple yet specific answer, doctor. Our family, our friends, those are the elements that would help us stay positive. Just like what I do. A good thing, my family, my mother and father, our house is not that far. I could visit them, and with the right, protocols, wearing the face mask, the face shield, I was able to stay positive, just like what you did, doctor. So that's a really perfect answer to all our listeners. Simplicity sometimes makes everything much easier. Now, doctor, off to the final question. The main goal of this podcast is to know how each educator around the globe inspire their learners. So, doctor, I'll throw in the question to you. How do you inspire your learners? Share us some of your techniques, your tips, your best practices, doctor.
Well, I think that TTELT, which is the project that I'm working on right now, that this pandemic has given me time to work on. So again, that's another way that I stay positive, is I just took a negative and made it a positive. It's just something that I've always wanted to do, was to do something to help the teachers that I've worked with in many countries around the world. So I've taken the time that I've had to develop it's a podcast and a YouTube channel and workshops for teachers, and it's called TTELT, Teaching Tips for English Language Teachers. And it, like I said, it's all about inspiring educators to create engaging lessons so that their students can learn as much as possible in their courses. So this is how I try to inspire. I try to inspire on a weekly basis in each of my episodes. And I think also in general, I think that we should never forget that to be inspiring, we need to remember that we're teaching people, and we need to make sure that we don't lose focus of that when we plan our lessons, that we need to remember that the students that we work with are interesting people, and to be interested in what they have to offer. Ask them questions, show your interest, show that you care about them, and that you are doing your best to help them. I think those are the best ways that we can inspire teachers. And I think that if teachers remember that they that they are teaching people, and that they need to receive from their students as much as they give, and that give and take is really important in education. And to let their students maybe take them off track sometimes, because that's important to the student. I think those are some important things to do in our classroom, even if it's online.
Wonderful, Doctor. Really wonderful. And what I love with the idea that you shared, let me just say it one more time. You said that we are teaching people. We're not teaching robots. So we must put emotions whenever we are teaching them. And also, we must know their emotions. Because compared to a robot, people do sometimes feel, they might be down. They might experience problem prior to attending our classes. So as a teacher, we must know how do they feel on that day. We're not just there to, give the lessons. The morning class, this is the lesson. Read the lesson, do the activity, goodbye and thank you, class. It's not like that. That's why I really, I would say that I was moved by that statement that you just gave, Doctor. We are teaching people. We are not teaching robots. We are not teaching machines. But we are here to inspire them, allowing them to showcase their talents, be the best that they can be. That was really amazing, Doctor. You know what? I'm a little bit speechless, speechless. Because
Speechless.
Speechless. Because sometimes those statements makes us realize that teaching is really a marvelous job that was given to us. And right now, I'm really thankful that I become one of you. I become a teacher, an educator. I might just be starting, and with the help of you and all the educators that I've interviewed, Doctor, I've learned lots of things that I can simply apply into my everyday teaching life. So, Doctor, before we end up this marvelous podcast episode, I would like to give to you the floor to, invite them, tell them your projects, your advocacies one more time, and then after you advertise them, any last words for all our listeners? So the podcast floor is now yours, Dr. Rhoades.
Well, thank you very much, Brian. Okay, well, the project that I'm working on is, as I mentioned, it's called TTELT. So the easiest way to find it is to go to ttelt.org, and that's where you can find the podcast, and you can connect to the YouTube channel and find out more about the workshops. The YouTube channel is, if you want to go directly to that, the channel is called TTELT, so you can put that in if you're on YouTube to find it. And we also have a Facebook group also called TTELT. And that's where you can sign up for the workshops and find out more information and learn from the other teachers that are in our group. And right now, everything for TTLT is free. It's because it's a new project. We're piloting all the workshops. So the first workshops are coming up on October 17th. And so, like I said, they're all free. However, we are looking for funding. So if you know of an organization that would like to fund an English language teacher training project, please tell them to go to ttelt.org, and we would love the funding. But yeah, like I said, it is my passion to teach and to help teachers as much as I can. And I really hope that this project is going to be helpful for teachers. And I'm interviewing lots and lots of teachers this week. And I already have 3 lined up this week and many next week that want to be part of the project and provide teaching tips for English language teachers. So it's just not my tips, but there are many inspiring teachers around the world that are part of this project. And I really hope that we can make this project available to all of our English language teachers and make it helpful to all of them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rhoades. That was an inspirational ideas that you shared to us, and your passion in teaching is really amazing. I would say that you've been a great educator to those people that you have taught, and then right now you are still an inspiring educator to everyone. So any last words that you wanted to share to them, Doctor?
Last words, just keep doing the best that you can, and even if it seems like it's more difficult now than it should be, just remember that we're all doing our best, and keep our students in our thoughts, and to remember that they're struggling too. And I think that as long as we keep the idea that we're just going to do our best, then I think we'll all be fine. And just know that, there's a vaccine coming soon, and then we can all go back to normal.
Thank you
someday.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rhoades. So, to all my podcast listeners, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for inspiring each and every one. And I hope that you'll be listening once again in our succeeding episodes. So once again, this is Brian, your host for Inspiring Educators. See you next week. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you. Bye.